भीष्म उवाच इति मतिरूपकल्पिता वितृष्णा भगवती सात्वतपुङ्गवे विभुम्नि स्वसुखमुपगते क्वचिद्विहर्तुं प्रकृतिमुपेयोषि यद्भव प्रवाह.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञान अंजनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. Glorification of Lord Shri Krishna by Bhisma Dev. Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 9th chapter, and starting with 32nd shloka. As we have already heard, this glorification is sung in a particular way, and glorification is always sung to please the Lord, because a devotee always desires to serve the Lord in his best possible way, utilizing all his talents in the service of Lord Shri Krishna. Now Shri Bhisma Uvacha, we will be taking up the purport, we will be including the purport of Srila Prabhupada in our speech. So, starting with the shloka, Iti matir upkalpita vitrishna. Now, Iti, Srila Prabhupada writes Iti, translates Iti as thus. That now, at this point of time, when Bhishma Dev is lying on the bed of arrows, when all his administrative, throughout his life, he was busy in his administrative duties because he was the leader of the Kuru dynasty. And his mind was always engaged in all the official affairs, managing the state. But having done with all his duties now, and now lying on the deathbed of arrows, especially at this time when his death is imminent. So now, iti matir upkalpita, now upkalpita, Srila Prabhupada writes, invest. He is investing his mind, Srila Prabhupada writes, thinking, feeling, as well as willing in the service of Lord Shri Krishna by focusing at the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. So some authors write that upkalpita means, up means before, that Bhishma Dev having done sadhana previously and now thus purified, having been purified, now he wants to serve Lord Shri Krishna. But our Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas refute this very point. Because Bhishma Dev is a Mahajana, he is a teacher himself. And throughout his life, he is a devotee of Lord Shri Krishna, serving Krishna in all possible ways, through his mind, body and words, in whatever possible way. So it is not that he has purified himself. He knows that the process of devotion and the goal of devotion is the same. And thus, he is teaching by his own example that throughout his life and at the time of leaving his life years, our mind, our free will, in fact, our free will should be focused at the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna to serve him, to give him pleasure. So this is the point. So Jiva Goswami also says that that through this action, actually Bhishma Dev wants to exemplify that in the process of devotion, the first thing required is surrender. Through surrender only we can achieve the goal of life, which is love of Godhead. And thus he is a Mahajan. He is teaching by his own example. He is teaching by his own glorification, even at this point, lying on his deathbed. So iti matir upakalpita vitrishna. Trishna means desires. And vitrishna, Srila Prabhupada writes, free from all sense desires. This is the sacrifice required from a devotee. Srila Prabhupada writes that it is impossible to wipe out our material desires. But we can always dovetail our desires. We have to purify our desires in the service of Lord Shri Krishna. We cannot make them zero at all. So this is 𝗣𝗍, having been freed from all material desires. Bhagavati, Srila Prabhupada writes, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now he is establishing this fact that Shri Krishna is Narayan, original Narayan himself. And he is right present there. Bhagavati, he is saying that Lord who is complete in his 6 opulences. So he is right present in front of him, and now thus he wants to surrender unto him. Bhagavati, Satwatapung. Now Satwatapung means leader, and Satvat means Sat, who follow. Satvat means devotees. How devotees? Satvat, who follows the path of Sat, or who wants to serve, who desires to serve Lord in all their aspects. So thus devotees are called Satvat, and Krishna is being referred to here as Satwatapung. Now Bhishma Dev is not just satisfied having been called Shri Krishna as Bhagwan, complete with 6 opulences: beauty, wealth, strength, fame, knowledge, renunciation. Not just these things. Now he is relating the relationship of Lord with the devotee. Satwatapung. How he is related to devotees? He is the leader of the devotees. And thus he is establishing this fact that for a common man who is a non-devotee, the Lord is just overseer or a permitter. Anumanta updrishta. He does not interfere with their free will. He just gives the results of their actions. But for a devotee, Lord personally guides the life of a devotee. Like in this case, Arjuna, Shri Krishna is present right along with Arjuna in the middle of the battlefield, facing arrows. So this is, hence Lord is called Satwatapung. In fact, Lord is also being, Bhishma Dev here is establishing this fact that he is in the mood of 𝗍𝗆 bhakti ras. He is saying Vibhumni, that unto the mighty Lord, Vibhumni. Srila Prabhupada writes, unto the great. He is establishing that you are great and I am insignificant. Bhishma Dev is saying that you are great and I am insignificant. And in fact, he is also apologizing that feeling the guilt, having shot arrows at his at Lord Shri Krishna. He is feeling the guilt, and in a way he is requesting, he is apologizing. So Vibhumni, so 𝗍𝗆 bhakti ras, and in fact Shri Krishna is also known as Bandhu in reference to Bhishma Dev, because although Bhishma Dev is considering himself as a servant of Lord Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna considers Bhishma Dev as his friend. So Lord Shri Krishna is also known as 𝗍𝗆 Bandhu in reference to Bhishma Dev. Swasukham upagate. Swasukham, Srila Prabhupada writes, self-satisfied. So upagate, having been achieved, that Lord Shri Krishna, although he is self-satisfied in his Golok Vrindavan Dham along with his eternal associates, but still kvachit vihartum. Sometimes, kvachit means sometimes, vihartum, because of his own sweet will, because for his transcendental pleasure, not just for himself, to give transcendental pleasure to his devotees, he descends personally in this material world, in this sinful world, among the mortals. And why does he do so? To do his pastimes. Why to do his pastimes in this mortal world? To attract the conditioned souls, to give pleasure to his devotees, and establishing dharma, religion. Even, in fact, establishing prem maryada. He exhibits through his own leela. He establishes what is prem. He establishes the fact that I am the supreme. And we as conditioned souls, we need to dovetail our desires to give him pleasure, to experience that pleasure ourselves. So this is a win-win situation where a devotee in a subordinate position serves the Lord and feels the bliss himself. So this is 𝗙𝗆 𝗆𝗆 prakritim 𝗆𝗆𝘆𝗆𝐴𝑢𝑠ि, that now you prakritim, this material world, this prakriti 𝗆𝗆𝘆𝗆𝐴𝑢𝑠i, that you accept this material world. Now acharyas write that although you are present in this mortal world, but you have come here out of your own sweet will. You directed Yoga Maya, and under the directions of Yoga Maya, now you have appeared here. It is not that you are also conditioned, you have also become conditioned amongst the three modes with the three modes of material nature. No, you are Swarat, you are independent, completely independent. And hence you are Lord. 𝗪 pravaha, that although all this creation is emanated from you only, but still as a spider doesn't get entangled in its own web, similarly you have come here, but you are not entangled in the material modes of nature. You have just come here for the pleasure of the devotees, of your pure devotees. So through this shloka, the very first shloka in the glorification, the Bhisma Dev establishes the sambandh, the relationship of a devotee with the Supreme Lord. And specifically Bhisma Dev is in the Dasya Bhakti Ras. So what we learned from this shlok, that Bhisma Dev establishes, being a Mahajan, he establishes that to enter devotion, first of all you need to surrender, and then only we can achieve the path of the pure love of Godhead. Then Krishna also, to relate with the devotees, he has a relationship with the devotees. He is called Satwatapung. To please his devotee, he descends himself. He is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he also desires to associate with his pure devotees in this mortal world. So there is a reciprocation from the Lord, which is the essence of love, this reciprocation. So now having been established this fact, now we know to enter devotion, first of all we have to surrender. And what do we have to surrender? Our free will. And thus now we will go to the other shlokas and we will see that what Bhisma Dev is trying to reveal to us, what is up till hidden from us. So that we will be discussing in our subsequent videos. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.